Hey everybody, what's going on here? Harley Q here with another video, and today we're kind of going back to a video that I did before, but I guess this is a part 2 to that, or part whatever. This seems like a series that there could be multiple parts of, because there's always new tips and tricks to game collecting. So this is just my helpful hint list, which I believe I already did one of these. I don't remember, I've done so many videos. But anyway, here's some helpful hints, things that I've learned while game collecting. And these are things that I've learned just from this time in which that I've really seriously gotten into game collecting. I've been collecting for several years now, but I didn't seriously get into collecting until probably the last year or two, where I really seriously started going after and growing my collection. So these are the tips and tricks that I've learned, and maybe you could share some tips and tricks with me, and we could kind of make this into a series of ways to build a collection. But before we do that, make sure to follow me on Twitch, make sure to follow me on Instagram, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, so that way you can see when one of my videos go live, memes, doggos. There's a doggo over here. So let's just jump right into the video. So this list is in no particular order. These are just things that I've sort of learned. So one of the ways that are super easy and fast to build your collection is buying game lots, specifically off of eBay. You can normally find large lots of people just trying to sell games. This is a fast way and an easy way to find games, especially if there's a certain game that you want. You might even be able to get it at a cheaper price if you buy it in lots. Typically, people buy, especially resellers, the more you buy, the cheaper it is, because in the end, they're actually making more money. At least from a buying standpoint, that's usually how it works. So buying on eBay is pretty nice, especially buying lots on eBay. The catch to that is expensive, and typically you are going to buy eBay prices. For instance, you're not going to find a game like Stubbs the Zombie on eBay for any less than $90, because that's what it runs on price charting, and as most of you know, price charting prices are based generally off of eBay. Although price charting does display what prices are on Amazon, the prices are generally based off of eBay prices, and stores, resale stores, especially game stores, go off of price charting prices. For the most part. So yeah, that's a super easy but an expensive way to get games for rather cheap as eBay. I do buy games off of eBay, especially if I want them right away. It depends on the game. I've bought several games off of eBay, but again, I'm paying eBay prices. I try to get things below price charting prices. Again, I am a game collecting channel. I am also a budget channel, so I will try to save as much money as possible when need be. I generally try to save as much money as possible where I can save, so if I can save a couple dollars, I will try to save a couple dollars. And generally, if it's a game that I know at some point I will see out in the wild, I will wait, and, you know, I feel like it's more fun to wait to find it for a good price and have that brag right to say, hey, I got a Pokemon game that is a $60 game for $10. You know, that's just me though. Another helpful hint for game collecting is shop your sales. This one's actually really helpful because some pawn shops, there's actually a local one near me, that generally at the beginning of the year, they do a 50% off the whole store. So you can get games that are generally sold at $5 for $2.50. And I've gotten so many good games by doing stuff like this, knowing sales, knowing when they're going to happen. GameStop did one recently where you buy 5 games and I think each game is 50% off. That's an awesome sale to shop for, especially if you're trying to buy for modern systems. And just knowing when certain things happen. Like, I know that I mentioned this before on another video, but the Goodwill has a dollar day. And each week the Goodwill has a color system. So the color of the week may be yellow, which means that any tag that's yellow, on dollar day, that item will be $1. So for example, there's a couple of games that I bought where it was a yellow day, and it was a dollar day, so what I did was I got a game for $1. So that's an awesome way to do some game collecting, especially to fill in holes in collections, and if you're just trying to pick up kind of cheap titles and you're not really trying to go after that title right away, knowing when to shop and knowing what you're buying and if it's going to be there, that's definitely an awesome resource. Another awesome, helpful hint that I definitely have to say is shopping at the Goodwill is incredible. It's definitely one of those places that's kind of a hidden gem. Any kind of thrift stores, too, are super awesome because people tend to think of those places of generally places to buy clothes. They don't necessarily think of game collecting, so I definitely highly recommend checking out those stores. And checking them often. Some people will go once, not be able to find anything, and never go back again. But the trick is you have to go all the time. I actually try to hit the Goodwill 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes I can only go once a week, but I try to go at least once a week, the minimum. Usually I go at least 3 times to 2 times a week. I highly recommend hitting those stores as often as possible. Just know where to shop and know inventory. Get to know people. I have met several people at the Goodwill that generally know what I'm looking for, and they have told me, hey, we just got some stuff in stock, and they'll point to the direction where it is. Or they'll tell me that there's video games coming in. They know. And sometimes I've even had them put stuff aside for me. Just be friendly with the employees. Eventually they'll become your friend and they'll know what you look for. Another super helpful hint to game collecting is trading and selling off your doubles. This is awesome because what you can do is you can reinvest. So, for example, there was a Crash game for the PlayStation 2, and for about 3 months, I kept running into this game in every game lot that I purchased. So what I did was I posted them all on eBay, and I made a pretty chunk of change. I literally had like 3 or 4 copies of this game, and I posted them all to eBay, and I made my money back. And what I did was I reinvested that money into other game lots, into other collections, and when I got more doubles, I resold them on eBay. Definitely something that's super helpful in just any kind of collecting form, whether it's buying books or buying comic books or buying figurines, is knowing your prices. Know your market. Know which games are popular. Know what the prices are for those games. And know that prices fluctuate, because you could look at a game like Final Fantasy VII where 10 years ago that game was $100 and nowadays it's worth about $40. I don't actually know the price of Final Fantasy VII off the top of my head, but I know it's not a super cheap game, but I also know it's not an expensive game by any means. Know which games are popular and which games aren't. For example, you have Animal Crossing for the GameCube, which is a very popular game. That game runs for about $50, so if you find it $5 somewhere, you definitely want to pick that up, because it would be a very good trading piece or a reselling piece, or it's an awesome thing to put into your collection. Know that if you don't like a certain franchise of things, but you know it's a popular franchise, that's a bargaining chip. You need to grab that. These are things, Mario games are always good to grab, because people always want Mario games. It would make it good for a lot pack if you want to post it on the Facebook Marketplace, or post it on OfferUp, or post it on any other sites that are similar to that. So those are definitely things that you want to do. And the last, and the easiest, and my favorite thing to do, and the only time you can't do this is during certain seasons, mainly winter, is yard sailing. And the reason why yard sailing is so amazing is because you can bargain. Bargaining. You can get some amazing deals. And I've shown that because there was one month where I got like hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise and I paid probably about $100 for everything. When the weather is nice, I yard sale every Saturday. I sometimes yard sale on Fridays. I yard sale Sundays. Finding those community yard sales are the best. And the best part is, if you don't like a price at a yard sale, you can always suggest a price. Most of the time people will go for it. My trick to that is, if someone tells me a price, I don't want to pay that price. I usually look at the game, I look at them, I put it down, and I start to walk away. And usually they say something like, well, would you do this? And then I say, yeah, I'll do that. Which really I would have paid the original price, but I usually play a game with them. Generally I get the price knocked down a few. Sometimes the price is just too good that I'm like, I'm not going to argue with this. Literally, I had that Wii game a couple months ago that was sealed. That was a $40 game that I paid 50 cents for. I was not arguing that. I was not arguing that at all. Yard sales are an excellent resource for that. Knowing good places to yard sale is also a great thing. Flea markets are awesome. I already mentioned thrift stores and Goodwills. Those are also awesome places to shop. But probably the best way to do any kind of budget collecting for gaming is definitely hitting those yard sales. And I feel like these things could apply to just any kind of collecting, because a lot of the things that happen with game collecting happen with any other kind of collecting, like VHS collecting, figurine collecting, comic book collecting, vintage book collecting, plush collecting, I don't know, whatever you collect. But yeah, those are definitely some awesome hints. I might have actually repeated some from the first video. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what I said in that video. It was a long time ago. I also have the memory of a potato. But that's pretty much the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when the videos go live. Leave a comment with some of your helpful game hint collecting. English is not my forte. Make sure to leave a comment with some helpful hints that you have. Maybe we can make this into a series. Maybe there's a part 3. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I definitely don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, stay safe out there. The world is always on fire. That seems to be the new norm.